it's Liz Yuille from Old Staples Crafts, UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Thank you for joining me again today. Today I've got another of my OnStage pillow gifts, for want of a better phrase, and they're these little boxes, and in the little box is a Mawam Blocks little set of sweets. They're just a bit of fun, not expensive, so yeah, I just thought they were cute. So let me show you how I made them. I have made something similar before, but I thought I don't know why I brought that out. I want my Simply Scored. I could use that, but I want my Simply Scored. So, right, here we go. I'm going to use my Take a Pick tool because it's got a slightly different embossing tool. For no other reason than that, really. So we're starting with a piece of Mango Melody cardstock because I'm using the Abstract Impressions Designer Series paper, and it has Mango Melody in most of, well, not most of, a lot of the patterns. So the first thing I am going to do is, with the short edge at top, is score at 3/4 of an inch, and I am going to turn it round so I know that that is 3/4 of an inch both sides. Theoretically, you can score at 2 3/4, so 3/4 and 2 3/4. But for absolute accuracy, if you swiddle it round, it seems to work better. Says she, who is then going to ignore that and do this across. But this is fine. So 1 1/4, 2. 3 1/4, had to think about that for a moment, and 4. And that is all of the scoring we need to do with the Simply Scored, so I'll pop that away. And then I'm going to grab my metal ruler, and I need to go diagonally here. So I'm just going to get my scoring tool and go diagonally there and down here. The lighting is not great. We're at that time of the year. When I'm filming this, we've just had our clocks change, so it's getting darker earlier, which is kind of depressing. So yes, winter is on its way. And again, across there. And there we go. Right, okay, bone folder. So just score all of your straight lines. I mean, they're all straight, but straight as opposed to diagonal. So just burnish all of those. And these ones here. And then what I have found easiest is you take your piece of card and you put your bone folder in one of the corners, and you bring your straight edge to meet the fold line opposite. So let me see if I can show you that closer. So this straight edge is coming to meet this fold, but I find it easiest to actually get my bone folder in there to have something to kind of push against, and then burnish, and burnish right the way up, and then do the same again. So have something to push against, and then burnish, and the last one, because what you don't want is that straight edge to come over this score line. Right, so that's that. Now we need some Designer Series paper. So I've got that. And did I actually say this piece of paper is 3.5 by, or piece of card is 3.5 by 5 1/4? It doesn't matter because all the dimensions are always on the associated blog post, which is linked in the description bar below. So don't worry too much about that. So I'm now going to see if I can remember how I put this together, because I did have them going in a, I thought I had them going in a thing, as in going straight across. There we go. There we go, because then the pattern follows round, and yes, I really am that sad. Right, there we are. Okay, so don't ask why I've just done that, it's just because I'm sad that way. So these are 1 7/8 by 1 1/8 and 1 7/8 by 5/8. So you've got 1 7/8 by 1/8 and 1 7/8 by 5/8, and you need obviously 2 of each. And then just add some snail to the back, and I have made sure that I've got quite a good covering of the snail, and then just make sure you're still in the right direction. And then there's just a tiny little border all the way around. This one is quite a fiddly because it is very narrow. And then I think you'll be a little bit surprised, maybe not, by the tag stamp that I've used. You may not. I may have given it away now. But I think it works quite nicely. Right, last one. And I'm about to sneeze, so I apologise, but I'm going to sneeze. Oh, excuse me! I have no idea where that came from. Oh, excuse me! Absolutely no idea where those came from. Anyway, put your Mawan blocks in the middle, bring up the side that hasn't got the designer series paper, and then just tuck your ends in, so along those diagonals, and then the next one just kind of folds nicely over the top. And it does actually hold itself together, but just for a bit of fun I've added a tag. So I've got a scrap of Whisper White, and bearing in mind that this is not a Christmas project, I am using the Tags and Tidings stamp set, because this one here just says Warm Wishes, which is fairly generic, you know, nothing in particular. You could do to and from, but I just thought that one was quite fun. So I've got my stamp. It is one set, so unless you particularly want to do surgery, but I wouldn't recommend it, frankly. Actually, I'll do it this way up. You just ink up that top corner and just make sure it's reasonably evenly inked. And then I am going to grab a scrap of grit paper, stamp down, because I might go over the edge, stamp that down, and there is our Warm Wishes. Get rid of that, and then I can take the die, which is why I would say you don't want to cut your stamp apart, because the die works perfectly if you've kept everything together. And then just pop that onto, I've got my magnetic plate on my Big Shot, so I'll just pop that down, and because it's a huge die, you're not going to have too much problem with things moving on the magnetic base plate. Sometimes the smaller images can move around, but you've got a huge great die, so it's easy. Run that through, and then we've got our tag. Sort all that lot out in a moment. Okay, so I've tied this together in a slightly different way. So I need a length of, this is the sheer white, is it just sheer? Yes, sheer ribbon in Whisper White. So pop your ribbon round, and then this is the one that I'm going to make a loop with. So I'm just going to add my tag to that, just tighten that up again, and then you can tuck that out of the way, but make your loop as you would ordinarily, and just ignore the fact that you've got a tag hanging off it, and just pull together. Just don't pull that because you can rip it. and then just neaten up your bow, and you've got your tag actually attached with your bow. And there we are, 4 little gifts for my housemates. So thank you very much indeed for watching. Do remember it's November, so it's my birthday month. So during November, if you shop with me and use the host code, for every £30 you spend during November, you will be entered into a prize draw to win the Many Marvellous markers. That's worth £112.75. So yeah, all for just shopping with me. So have a go at that. If you need any of these products or any Christmas products, it's the best time of year to be buying Christmas stuff because you've got enough time to then get everything made in time for Christmas. So get everything in November and get a chance to win the Many Marvellous markers, which then could be someone's Christmas present. Thank you very much indeed for watching me. If you've got any comments or questions, please leave a comment in the description, in the comments below. My brain's going. The dimensions, what I've used and everything like that will be on the associated blog post, which is in the description bar below. If you don't already subscribe, it would be great if you would. If you've enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Bye!